Hey, Steve Cordasco from Mercer Advisors telling me recently about a new benefit to their already comprehensive wealth management offerings. Chapter is what it's called. Mercer Advisors' new Medicare support partner. They can help you make the proper Medicare decisions, including navigating the difficult filing process and selecting the right plan for you. Chapter, a team of licensed experts who can assist in understanding 24,000 coverage options at no cost to you. They recently helped a client of mine with a family business issue. They'll do likewise for you if you call them. 855-558-3500. 855-558-3500. Ask for Steve Cordasco. Cordasco Financial Network. That's a trade name owned by Mercer Global Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Andrew Garrett, Inc., which is not affiliated with Cordasco Financial Network or Mercer Advisors. For more information about Chapter or Mercer Advisors strategic partners, you can go to Mercer Advisors Form ADV2A. Time now for the headlines from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. TC, I'm making a wardrobe change for this portion of the program.
Oh, my. Ah, very nice.
By the way, this is my...
Is that new or old?
No, this
That's
is my
old.
2008 Phillies hat.
Okay, we could use that, a little of that right now.
There's like a stain on the visor. I think Charlie Manuel spilled some sauce on me from some nachos or something. I don't know.
Maybe it was some of that meal you were eating last night. Oh.
Did you like that image on Instagram?
It's amazing. How we pregame.
Yeah, that was like the quintessential pregame Phillies meal, chicky and Pete's, a cheesesteak, crab fries, couple of brews. All good.
I would eat that for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. My hand to God. I would... Like breakfast, lunch, or dinner, including the beer.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Tonight will be the final baseball game of the season at Citizens Bank Park. Come hell or high water, the series is now tied at 2-2 back to Houston. After this, I will not be there this evening.
However, you've made it to two.
Three nights in a row. Three nights in a row. Unheard of for me, unless I'm speaking somewhere, to be out of the house 3 nights in a row.
And not just out of the house,
I've had it.
Significantly out of the house.
In a good way, I've had it.
So were you with Rod again last night?
No, Rod was my date for the first 2 nights.
I knew that.
The rain out and then the real game, which was the 7-0 5-home run game.
Amazing. What a difference a day makes.
Last night was my friend Bobby Flood.
Oh, how's Bobby Flood?
That would be Robert M. Flood III to you.
I call him Mr. Flood.
I told you that Rod was my 10th grade marketing teacher.
You did tell me that.
In high school.
I know.
Okay, so that's how long I've known Rod.
Right.
Bob is my friend of 40 years.
I just saw him at the Unconvention. I literally just saw him.
40 years.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, but you're supposed to comment on the longevity of that friendship.
Michael,
tell me your 40-year friends.
You have a lot.
Those ladies of Lowell House.
Of tight friends. Yes.
Ooh.
My Lowell House ladies.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Oh, my. Yeah, it was fun to be there last night. And by the way,
it was fun despite my heart was in my throat. I was trying to stay up for them to make a hit.
Right.
Good thing I didn't stay up.
Okay, but TC, I mastered the access last night. Like 3 nights in a row. On night 3,
I love that you're not focused on the fact that the Astros had a no-hitter, and instead you're focused on the fact that
they really didn't have a no-hitter. It was like 5 different pitchers.
A combined no-hitter. Instead you're focused on the fact that, quote, like, I parked in the right place.
Right.
Is that...
I am. Bobby and I laughed about this.
This is insane.
We laughed because he's been in the insurance industry for 100 years, and we laughed as we were pulling in about the Progressive commercials.
You're becoming your parents?
Yeah, because I was so proud of like mastering exactly how we were going to get into the stadium.
I love that this is your
take
home.
Night.
This is your take home.
No, I have other take homes. By the
way, I have to say I'm tired. You must be really tired. I'm just tired from staying up.
I'm watching at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm going through all the Michigas of parking. So
I'm basically dozing. And
I totally get it. I totally get it.
I think all of Philly is like this.
So what I finally decided, because the Sixers were playing last night. The Sixers played at 6.
Are you about to go through what you did? Okay, go ahead.
Forget it.
No.
Forget it.
I'm very interested.
I'm just telling you, if there are 2 ways. there are like 2 ways that you're gonna get to the stadium. You're either coming in. All right, 3 ways. You're coming in on I-95. You're coming in on the Blue Route, actually the Blue Route 295, or the Schuylkill Expressway. And the point is, even if the traffic is moving, and you could feel really good Like, oh my God, I'm on the
Forward progress.
periphery. I'm on the periphery of the stadium complex. But then all bets are off.
Why?
Because
why are all bets off?
because you could still get so jammed up as you're approaching the parking lots.
Okay, so what is the solution, Michael?
The solution, for those who want my tip.
Good, and there's another game tonight, so maybe people do.
Thank you.
You know?
This is a PSA right now that I'm delivering. Get to Center City.
Thank God for you.
And come south on Broad Street. Get to Center City however you do it. There are 1,000 ways to just get into town. And then go south on Broad Street.
Okay.
And avoid coming off I-95. Avoid coming off the Schuylkill Expressway.
But you're
that
still
was
driving.
my trick.
You didn't take public transportation.
No, drove and was able to, get very close to the stadium, and it all worked out.
Good.
So you know the outcome of the game. I'm just giving you a little color.
I do know
So
the outcome
first,
of the
there's
game.
my parking update.
Okay.
All went well, and yes, I ate well at Chicky and Pete's.
Clearly.
Okay, I just want to tell you a quick funny story.
Okay.
So I do enjoy the pageantry that surrounds the game, and I told you yesterday what went on in the ceremonial first pitch and so forth, and they brought out all the legends 2 nights ago. So for the last 2 nights, we don't have a lot of celebrities in Philadelphia. We don't have a lot of celebrities. So those that
I'm looking at them.
So yeah, thank you. So those that we do have, we tend to hang on to. Rob McElhaney, who's a friend of our Ben Haney.
Correct.
I think they were business partners on a prior bar that Ben owned in Old City before the Mulberry. A whole different story. But It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a really funny show, and he's a prep guy, and he's behind that show.
Got it.
Okay. So Rob McElhaney for the last 2 nights has been shown on the Jumbotron or whatever it's called these days. And so too Miles Teller. I don't know of Miles Teller's Philly connection, and truth be told, I didn't know who Miles Teller was. Somebody had to tell me that he stars in Top Gun with Tom Cruise, because I still haven't seen the latest Top Gun. TC, look at me, because you're gonna lose the next part. Okay. So they show Rob McElhaney.
Okay.
And they show Miles Teller last night. Again, second night in a row on the Jumbotron.
Okay.
And then they show a guy next to Miles Teller, and they identify him as Bruce Springsteen.
Was it?
No. So I say to Floody, that's not Bruce Springsteen. And he's like, well, it looks like Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, it looks like, I guess it's a joke. Like, hey, he looks like Bruce Springsteen, reinforcing to me that we really don't have celebrities in Philadelphia. We've got to go with the look-alike.
Right.
You with me?
Or the Jersey guy.
You with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Dr. Oz.
So now it's another inning later, and there is the real Bruce Springsteen.
Where?
And yes, he's at the game, and he's behind home plate.
What?
Yeah, but
I watched the game the whole time.
It gets
I didn't see
better.
him behind home plate.
It gets better.
What?
I look, and I'm like, wait a minute. I can't see where he is, but I can on the screen. Wait a minute.
Is
that
Bruce
Larry
Springsteen.
Magid?
Oh.
So I pull out my phone, and I text my friend Larry
Right,
Magid,
you're like,
Larry
are
and
you
Mickey,
sitting next
Mickey
to-
his wife.
Right.
Larry is a world famous Philly-based concert promoter and friend of mine. Larry promoted, among other things, Live Aid. So it's like, Larry, are you with the boss? Okay.
And?
Larry did not reply to me during the game, but when I woke up early this morning, the first email that I saw was from Larry confirming, yeah, that's me with the boss. Larry and Mickey Magid took Bruce Springsteen. I'm going to call him later.
This is amazing.
And get the story. Took the boss to the game last night.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right.
Yeah, we need details
I knew you'd
on
enjoy
one.
that.
Absolutely.
So, one other thing, and then I'll discuss the politics of it. I know that the first night had big ratings. I don't know how the next few games did, but I saw a headline from the Hollywood Reporter or Variety talking about how the ratings were really big for that first game. But tonight is kind of a screwy situation.
I think we've got a problem.
Right? Houston, we do have a problem. And by
Specifically that.
TC, what a coincidence. The Houston Texans
I can't believe it.
are hosting the Eagles. So a lot of sports fans are going to want to watch that at the same time of the World Series Game 5.
I think it's, I don't have
Because of the rain out.
like the split screen situation, but it's got to be like one on the computer and one on the TV. I don't know what's going to happen.
Because of the rain out.
Right. That is unbelievable. Okay, wait. I have a ratings question for you that has nothing to do with sports.
Tell me.
There were a pair of CNN ratings headlines.
Yeah.
Can I
Sure,
So,
yeah.
okay,
Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
So the new morning show debuted this week.
Right.
And Mediaite says that despite, this is the headline, I'm just going to give you the headline. Despite all-star hosts and big promotions, CNN this morning sees lackluster ratings debut. So that's kind of a downer of a headline for them. But then the other thing that CNN has done is put Jake Tapper in the 9 p.m. hour for until the midterms. And evidently
The tryout.
his ratings were not great, and a variety of headlines. This one from Variety: CNN's primetime plans hit snag as Jake Tapper plots return to afternoon show. So the headlines there are saying those ratings aren't great, and Jake Tapper is planning to go back to 4 p.m. saying, well, some places said like all along he was planning on going back. He likes that schedule better, but I think the ratings were also an issue. So I just wonder what you know about either of those.
Oh, of
bookends.
course. Okay, of
Big
course.
bookends.
Of course, I know nothing.
Come on.
Of course, I know nothing about. No, you know me. I'm not in the loop. I'm as much in the loop.
something.
I'm as much in the loop
As I am.
When a memo goes out from Chris Lick to the CNN staff, I learn of it when it gets picked up in the trades, or if Catherine sends me a copy. I'm not even on the email serve. I'll just make this observation. The only observation I'll make is that I think it's unfair to be held accountable for one day of ratings.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the new CNN morning program other than it's on a monitor as you and I are delivering. Yeah, I can tell you what I've seen and I've noted, and I pointed this out to you. Yeah. I don't know if we were even on the air, but I pointed out that I like they've created this backdrop that has a montage of different cityscapes, and it looks really cool. And I can tell they've tried to. I can tell a lot of things without the sound.
Okay,
TC. I can tell a lot of things without the sound playing. They've really tried to soften it. For example, I looked up earlier this morning and I saw John Avlon was on Tieless.
They're all tieless.
Right. John is normally like a tie guy. So they've definitely softened the look, the attire. And I can hear some television consultant telling them, because I've heard this said to me before. It's like, oh, you're brothers and sisters and you fight occasionally, but you love each other. For whatever reason, that's in the head of every television programmer.
Is that what people say about us?
I have no idea. Does that make sense to us? So I don't know. I think it's if I were on the air one frickin' day,
I would not want to be held accountable.
One day's ratings, you got to build, man. You got to build. I mean, Jake's had more time at 9 than the morning show has had to get launched. It's just not fair to say to them, well, look at that. I think the
morning show they're going to hang on to. It's not like they're going to. But if indeed after the midterms Jake goes back to 4 p.m., I'm also interested to know, because wasn't that where John Berman and Breonna Keeler were supposed to go rotate through?
And I
so
like
what's
them.
Me too.
I like
so
them.
What's going to happen?
John is a really hardworking dude. So TC, I have no idea.
Oh, jeez.
By the way, ask me off air. Guess what answer I'm going to give you?
The exact same.
The same answer, because I know nothing.
Fine.
George Will, the conservative syndicated columnist, raising a lot of eyebrows and drawing a lot of reaction with a Washington Post column today that we link to at Smerconish.com. For the good of the country, Biden and Harris should bow out of the 2024 election. And it's interesting, and let me just say up front that his belief is that Donald Trump, you need to know this, because the column is all about Biden and Harris. But Will's position is that Donald Trump is unfit. Okay, that's really like the starting point, even though he doesn't get to it until the final graph. But the premise, when you read the whole piece, is to say, Trump is unfit. Okay, Democrats, what are you going to put up? And then he pillories Biden and Harris in this piece. During this autumn's, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's how it gets started. During this autumn's avalanche of political news, an enormous boulder bounced by, barely noticed. It demonstrated why Joe Biden should not seek another term. Democrats should promptly face that fact and this one. An Everest of evidence shows that Vice President Harris is starkly unqualified to be considered as his successor. The boulder? Meeting recently with some progressive journalists, Biden said that his $426 billion student loan forgiveness was accomplished by a law that he had just signed. Quote, I got it passed by a vote or two. And then for emphasis, with a period after every word, George Will says, no, he did not. Biden was not merely, again, embellishing his achievements. This is not just another of his verbal fender benders. There is no less than dismaying explanation for his complete confusion. What vote? Who voted? After repeated unilateral extensions of the moratorium on loan repayments until election season, Biden unilaterally implemented the windfall for millions of voters. Unilaterally implemented. Congress was not involved in this cataract of money from the Treasury in violation of the Constitution's appropriations clause. So he's analyzing a recent mistake that the president made in taking credit for a law he signed when he did it by executive action. And then he goes on to similarly analyze a number of misstatements that have been made by Kamala Harris. The fairness of singling those out relative to Kamala Harris, read it, decide for yourself. As someone who has an open mic in front of him for 16 hours a week, I'm just kind of sensitive to always parsing sentences of people who live their lives in public, because if it were ever done to me in the course of one program, you could make me out to be a total knucklehead. Maybe I am. But, you try it. Have a live mic in front of you for 15 hours a week and see how you do. But the bigger picture is that Will is right that now starts the 2024 cycle. We're 5 days out from the midterm, and as soon as we get through this, whatever the outcome might be, all eyes are going to shift to 2024. Donald Trump is making the moves that he's going to announce real soon, like before Christmas. Why would he do that? He wants to freeze some of his would-be competitors and freeze their fundraising. He's going to draw opposition. There are going to be people who are going to run against him, although I don't know that Ron DeSantis will be one of them. There's a Vanity Fair piece linked at Smerconish.com today that I recommend you go and read, making the case that DeSantis won't take him on, but somebody's going to take him on. But on the Democratic side of the aisle, is Biden really going to run? Do you remember when, back in May, I did the commentary, TC? Remember in May I did the commentary and I said President Biden ought to give serious consideration to announcing now.
No one was talking about it then, by the way.
Right.
To be clear.
Now
yes.
he should give consideration to saying, I'm not running. I still think it was at least worthy of serious consideration then, because look at where things seem to stand now for the midterm.
Right.
A red wave is coming. Republicans are going to take control of the House of Representatives. Nate Silver, is now saying there's a 51% chance that Republicans will take control of the Senate as well. If it all goes that way, would it have been any worse if Biden had already announced, hey, I'm not running, and made the election less about him? There's a lot of good analysis today talking about his approval numbers or lack thereof, and how it's so hard to have a drag on the ticket a president who's deeply unpopular. So my point is not to wrap the president. There are 7,000 comments appended to the George Will piece, and the number one most popular one is to say, hey, maybe time's up for George Will. So, people are thinking he's been around a little bit too long. I get it. But those conversations are about to begin, and it's not only going to be about whether Biden should run, but also what Harris should do if Biden doesn't run, because, of course, traditionally the vice president would be the presumptive favorite for the nomination. But I don't think I'll say it this way. I don't think these last 2 years have strengthened her hand to being elected president. I don't think that they have. And one other observation, if I might, just in terms of what else is at Smerconish.com today and things that I recommend you check out, within the CNN poll. Is it the CNN or Wall Street Journal? Maybe it's the Wall Street Journal poll. I've got so many different polling numbers in my head, but one of them shows that Republicans have a strong hand going into next Tuesday's election. And when you look to 2024, if it were to be, perish the thought, Trump v. Biden, it's a statistical dead heat. I think they're at 46-46. So all that is about to get underway as soon as this election is concluded, and that takes place in just 5 days. So somebody said to me at the ball game last night, oh, you must be so sick of talking about this election. And I said to them, yeah, you're right. I can't wait until next Wednesday, because then I can start talking about the next election. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about the Phillies. and the Astros, and hope that tonight is a good game for both. Yesterday at Smerconish.com, 17,949 votes were cast. Should Paul Pelosi's 911 call and all videotape pertaining to his attack be released to the public? 56% said yes. Today's poll question, which is the stronger argument for continuation of affirmative action? The benefits of diversity or addressing a history of racism? And finally, where it is Thursday, that means a new episode of TC After Dark has just been dropped. What's it all about, TC?
All right. This is about words that I mispronounce, so I'll just give
Tomato?
you... No, that
Yes.
is correct pronunciation. I'm talking about museum, cuisine, coupon, ketchup. Yeah, tune in.
Water?
Donkey,
Tomato?
tomato.
Ladies and gentlemen, go listen to TC After Dark. See you tomorrow.